Hey world! Ani's gonna be helping out today. A few days ago, I posted a video on how the Electoral College system we have here in the US works. If you haven't already seen it, go ahead and click on Ani. If you have seen it, however, you know that at the end I promised to make a vlog about what I think of the Electoral College. If you couldn't tell from the title, this is that vlog. So yeah, let's get cracking. I have never fully understood why we use such a convoluted system to elect our president. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Founding Fathers were a bunch of great, awesome, wonderful, smart guys who got a lot of things right, but one of the few things that they got wrong was this convoluted system of the Electoral College. Instead of going with a simple, straightforward system like, say, the popular vote, they had to go with this crazy, complicated mess that sometimes leads to uber-confusing results. Now, this isn't to say that the Electoral College system never works. In fact, most elections, it does work. The winner of the popular vote winds up winning the electoral vote as well. Unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't work, like in 2000 when George W. Bush, despite losing the popular vote, still won the election. Yeah, these past 8 years haven't been so great, have they, Ani? No, not very good, no. So how does this happen? How is it possible that someone can win the election while losing the popular vote? Well, using the 2000 election as an example, the states won by Bush were won by a narrower margin than the states won by Gore. Unfortunately for Gore, and unfortunately for the world really, the Electoral College system does not care how much a state is won by, it just cares about who won the state. With this in mind, I went ahead and created an extreme hypothetical. I used this before in an episode of DBU, so if you've already heard this, forgive me. Ani got tired of standing up. She's right here still, just, yeah. So anyway, extreme hypothetical. In this extreme hypothetical, the losing candidate wins the states of California, Texas, Illinois, Michigan, Florida, Ohio, Georgia, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey. The 11 largest electoral college states, but just barely short of enough electoral votes to win the election. The winning candidate wins every other state. Here's the catch. The states won by the losing candidate vote unanimously. That is, in the states won by the losing candidate, every single vote goes for the losing candidate. The states won by the winning candidate, however, are split exactly down the middle. That is, the winning candidate wins their states by just one vote. If this were to happen, the losing candidate would receive a whopping 77.5% of the popular vote, where the winning candidate would only receive 22.5% of the popular vote. 22.5% is like Ross Perot territory. Now, obviously, this extreme of an example would never happen, but to a lesser extent, like in the year 2000, it does happen. This is the problem with the Electoral College. I mean, if more people want candidate A than candidate B, how does a democracy still allow candidate B to become president? I don't know. You might now be saying to yourself, well, Dan, you've got a point. Let's just switch to the popular vote. But my friends, this is easier said than done. See, the Electoral College is part of our Constitution, and while it is possible to change our Constitution, to change the Constitution requires a lot of time, a lot of effort, and pretty much a consensus. To get rid of the Electoral College altogether would be really tough. I propose a more practical solution. If you watched my video on how the Electoral College system works, you know that the states of Nebraska and Maine each have the ability to split their electoral votes by congressional district. In a nutshell, candidates receive 1 electoral vote per congressional district in these states and 2 electoral votes for winning the states overall. I propose that all states do this. If all states split their electoral vote by congressional district, it would become much less likely that a candidate could win the popular vote and still lose the election. The reason that this is a more practical solution is that instead of requiring a constitutional freaking amendment, all it requires is each state to pass a state law. That's much easier. Now, it's still not perfect. I still think it would just be better to be able to go with the popular vote, but to get enough momentum behind a movement to amend the Constitution would probably take another electoral outcome like 2000, and I'd just rather avoid that altogether. But yeah, those are my thoughts. That's what I think now. I want to know, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Post a comment or a video response, and let's start a discussion about this. The Electoral College, should it stay? Or should it go? I'm going to bring my dog back into this here. Oh, there you go. Ah, here she is. The one thing I do know, however, is that I am going to go. I am Dan Brown. This is Ani, my dog. And we are out. You can Or not. I guess she's just going to stay in my lap. Like, oh, there she goes. There she goes. Leave. Yeah, get out of here. If you like what you just saw, if Dan put you in a state of awe, subscribe to him and click the orange button. It really, 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 really means something. If you do that, that'd be really cool.